cause I've been waiting way too long. Take my hand, I wanna show you something. Promise I've been dying to see ya. They say the grass ain't always greener. I guess what they're saying is true. In my dreams, that's where I seen her. Take my heart and take all of me, girl. Let me show you what I wanna do. I wanna spend the rest of my life with you. Are you listening, darling? Look where we started. Breaking in half, left us broken hearted. So where do we go from here? Are you listening, darling? Look where we started. Breaking in half, left us broken hearted. So where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Yeah, where do we go from here? Are you listening, darling? Are you listening, darling? Are you listening, darling? Look where we started. Breaking in half, left us broken hearted. So where do we go from here?
Hello and welcome back, everybody, to another live stream. So yeah, I am back. I do understand I have been away for the past 2 days. Yeah, been quite busy with things. So yeah, I haven't had time to come live. But yeah, I'm back. And so, yeah, I will be live for the rest of the week, and I will try not to miss any more days. So yeah, I do apologize for that, but I am back. And of course, as always, we are going to run through the Bitcoin technical analysis. We're going to take a look at what's going on. I'm going to walk through how I'm positioned in the market, what I'm looking for next, the next trades that I'm looking for possibly, and kind of where we can expect price to go from here. Now, again, like I say a lot, I never like to predict where price is going to go. I like to look for my trade entry triggers. I like to get into the trade, okay, and then I, of course, I'm looking for price to go in said direction, okay. But yeah, never really looking at price targets. But yeah, of course, we will walk through that and see what I would kind of be looking for, because I understand that this is what you guys would. Yeah, well, you guys do, of course, want to know. So, yeah, of course, I will talk about all of the good stuff, all of the juicy stuff, all of the future trades, what's going on now. So if that all does sound interesting, please do smash that thumbs up button. Really helps me out, really helps the channel out, and I can continue to bring this content to you. Yeah, of course, let's jump straight on into it. Let's take a look at what's going on and yeah, walk through it together. So let's just start off with how I'm positioned in the market, right? And at this moment in time, I'm still very much in my long and in my short trade. So if I just pull up the trades here, so here are the two trades I'm in. So of course, I'm still in the long trade. I've realized, yeah, a little over $3,000 on that trade, and I still have $1,600 margin left in the trade. And then of course I do have that short trade that we entered into up here. Of course, yeah, gave that to the team on the Discord, as all of my trades are, taking the small hedged short against the long. There was the short that I did take, and I told the team I was taking all the way back on the 27th of August. And yeah, as you can see, that's just as I entered into the trade. And yeah, we did see a really, really nice pullback off of that long squeeze, of course. Did realize a little bit of a TP, not a huge trade, okay, but like I said, it is just kind of like a hedge against this long trade. And I do understand that if we are going to see a much bigger pullback to where I kind of expect us to go, kind of says it in the title, right, around $47,000. Okay, yeah, I do understand that this will be a very profitable trade. So, but yeah, I'm quite happy with how I'm positioned in this market, right? I'm very happy. I do have a long from near the low, okay, and I have a short from near the high, of course. So yeah, again, very happy with how I'm positioned. Stop loss on both of the trades is at entry, so these are completely risk-free trades. And like I say quite a lot of the time, this is as a professional trader. If you're striving to become a professional trader, this is the best position that you can be in, and every professional trader does strive to get into a position like this. Okay, because it is a completely risk-free trade. At this moment in time, I have no risk in the market, right? I guess the only risk in the market that I have is is of course losing out on profits, right? That's the only risk that I have. But yeah, there's no way I can lose any capital in these trades right now. So again, this is how this is how I strive to, or this is how I strive to be positioned in the market. So right now, really comfortable. I don't care where price goes. If we go up, great. Stop out the short. Long continues to pay. Right. If we pull back, great. We get stopped out of the long entry, and we see the short continue to pay, right? So really nice position to be in. And of course, yeah, both of the trades given to the team in the Discord as always. So yeah, that's how I'm positioned in the markets at this moment in time. And yeah, kind of just remaining patient and waiting for the next best possible trade setup, right? The next best possible trade setup. So for me, okay, it's patience, but I understand a lot of people aren't going to be in trades and they are going to be wanting to they are going to want to look for trades. For me, still, okay, if I was not in a trade at this moment in time, the trade for me would be patience. I wouldn't be entering into a trade at this level here. Okay, I have no interest in entering into a trade here. Okay, even if I wasn't in either of these trades, okay, I wouldn't be looking at entering into a trade here. I would be taking the patience trade, right? As I always say, yeah, there are three trades. There's a long, okay, there's a short, and then there's no trade. No trade is a trade, okay, because it can prevent you from taking a silly loss, right, from a trade that you shouldn't have entered into in the first place. So that's a very important thing to bear in mind. So yeah, let's talk about what is going on right now. Okay, what is going on right now? And before we do that, okay, I just want to talk about what has happened previously and kind of where we are at this moment in time. So of course we know, right? We've got the bullish, or we had the bullish structure here. Okay, we understand that, and we know that previously, right? What have I been saying? Okay, for any of the regular watchers here, right? We're in this bullish market structure. This is what I was saying here. Okay, and I was saying as soon as we break that bullish market structure, we can be looking for a new low to be put in. Okay, a new lower low on this bigger bearish structure that we do have. Okay, I was saying the exact same thing back here where we had bullish structure here, and I was saying if we lose this bullish structure, okay, we can be looking for bearish structure to form for a new low. Okay, that's what we can be looking for. Why? Okay, because we've seen it before here where we have the bullish structure, right? The bullish structure breaks and we do form a new low, right? It's happened 3 times now, okay, where we've broken the bullish structure and we formed a new low. So for me, okay, I'm looking at trends, right? I'm looking at patterns, right? Not triangle patterns, not head and shoulders patterns, none of this nonsense, okay? I am looking at, these type of patterns that are playing out, right? Similar price action that is playing out, right? And as we can see right now, of course, we have the bullish structure here. Okay, and I've been saying the same thing, right? If we lose this bullish structure, right, the highest probability move is another lower low. Why? Okay, well, it's because it's happened 3 times before. Okay, like I say a lot of the time, trade the trend until the trend ends, because the trend is your friend until the end, right? The trend, okay, has been bullish structure, which has then been broken to bearish structure, which has then formed a new low. Okay, so I understand the probabilities are more likely that if this bullish structure breaks, we are going to come down and form a new low. And guess what we have done? Right, well, we've actually just taken out that previous higher low here. Okay, so for me, this is a break of bullish structure, right? Because we are now not forming higher low after higher low. Okay, it was a higher low here, of course, right? But now what have we formed? We formed a lower low. Okay, so for me, this has now broken the bullish structure, right? If we take a look at what happens previously here as well, and yes, I understand, right? There is kind of a trade entry trigger here, right? Did I take it? No, of course not, right? We take a look at the Discord. Yeah, have I taken a trade here? No. Ever since the short trade? No, of course not, okay? Because like I said, I'm not looking for a trade here. Why? Well, because yes, right, we formed a swing value pattern here. Okay, and this is what I like to look for. I like to look for swing value patterns. I like to look for failed auctions. Okay. But for me, this is not something that I've traded. And I mean, if you did trade it, yes, okay, you would be in a nice little bit of profit right now. Okay. I can't deny that. You would be in a nice bit of profit. Okay. You could possibly take a TP1, move the stop loss to entry. It could have been a profitable trade. Yes, I understand that. But at the same time, right, if we're going back to what has happened here, okay, what have we seen, right? Well, we've seen the exact same scenario where, yes, okay, we had the bullish structure, we then broke it with a swing failure pattern, and yes, we did see a bit of a rise. Okay, but what happened? Price rolled over, and then we saw that big move down. Okay, we saw the exact same thing back here. This is what I was walking through with the team this morning. Okay, we had the bullish structure, of course. Actually, you could argue that it was, well, no, it was, sorry. Here was the higher low there. And you can see, what have we done, right? We've actually formed a swing failure pattern of that low, and we've seen a rise towards the upside. Yes, okay, if you taken that trade, it could have been a profitable trade, right? But this is not what I'm looking for. This is not a trade that I took back here, okay? I was in, of course, that short trade from up there. And for me, okay, it's looking at this and thinking, okay, yes, there was a little bit of a rise, but initially price continued lower. Okay, and I feel like, did we see the same thing back here? So we did see like a failed auction, but price had already put in a low. So yeah, that's not really the best example. Okay, but these two are perfect examples where, okay, yes, we've shown slight signs of bullishness, right? Where we formed a swing failure pattern, right? But what have we done? Okay, what have we done? We've broken the bullish structure. Okay, we've broken that bullish structure, and the same applies here, right? We've broken the bullish structure. Okay, yes, we're having a nice rise off of this. Great. Okay, if you've got into a trade here, amazing, right? Remember, okay, you need to be looking at, of course, none of this is financial advice, but you should be looking at taking profits, not because, right, this is, it's most definitely not going to rise to a new higher high. Okay, yes, of course, I understand that's a possibility, but I just understand the probabilities. Okay, it's a possibility, but I understand the probabilities. Okay, and I understand that the prior two times we formed a swing failure pattern, okay, of like similar price action like this, okay, they have not played out in our favor. Okay, so this is not something that I'm interested in trading. Okay, and to be honest with you, I would actually be looking for a new low to be put in for price to come down to about $47,000. That's kind of what I'm looking for. That's kind of what I'm anticipating. Again, like I said at the start, I don't really like putting price targets on things. But, this is just a trend that I'm kind of looking for it to play out again. Okay, and I'm kind of looking for price to come down to $47,000. Is it going to come down to $47,000? I don't know. I don't really care. But yeah, like I said at the start, again, I understand that you guys kind of want to know where I would expect price to go. Okay, for me, yes, all right, I'm looking for price to come down to $47,000, and we'll talk about some other factors of why we could see that as well. But yeah, I don't care if we do that or not. I really do not care, because again, how am I positioned, right? Well, I'm long from here, I'm short from here, so I just don't care. I know that I can profit off of either price direction. Okay, but going back to what I said, right? What else, okay, is kind of indicating a possible pullback down to around $47,000? Well, for that, okay, it's kind of the stock market, right? Yes, okay, the stock market has had a bit of a pullback here, right? Maybe we've seen a little bit of a bounce here, okay? But if we are going to see this stock market continue lower, I would be looking at Bitcoin, yes, coming down to $47,000. Okay, so this is just something to be a little bit aware of. And I understand that on the stock market, there's just an incredible amount of long trades, an incredible amount of over leveraged people, and overexposed people. Okay, so I understand, right, at some point, if we are going to see a pullback in the stock market, it's going to be a pretty heavy one. Nvidia, okay, has been bringing the stock market up pretty rapidly. Throughout this bull market, right, Nvidia has been pulling it up. Bringing it up. Sorry, I understand that Nvidia, okay, is having a pretty hefty pullback at this moment in time, right? And I know that a lot of people are going to be over leveraged, overexposed into their positions on that, because we just know how retail traders are. So what I'm thinking is that, okay, if this pullback is going to continue, I do think we're going to see a much bigger pullback. Doesn't mean it's going to be the start of the bear market. No, of course not. Right? Of course not. But it's just something to be aware of. Right? We understand as well the stock market hasn't had like a major pull, but yes, okay, we've had this bit here, right? But I still think a bigger pullback on the stock market is not something that we should be fearful of. Okay, I think it's something that, of course, is healthy. With Bitcoin, looking at this, yeah, okay, we've been having quite a hefty pullback now. Okay, we've had quite a few hefty pullbacks. I understand that, and we're still in this bearish structure. And the thing is, right? Yes, okay, I understand we're in a bull market. Yes, I understand. Okay, we can be looking for higher prices here. But yeah, like you've heard me say quite a lot, I do not like to be a sheep in this market. I sway away from being a sheep, and I take advantage of the sheep getting wrecked. Okay, that's how I like to profit in these markets. Okay, because I understand, that a large portion of these retail traders fail. Okay, and lose almost every single trade they take. So it's like, okay, if I can spot where they're looking at entering into trades and I do the opposite, I understand, okay, I can make consistent profits in this market. Okay, and it's kind of logic. I feel like these markets are to do with logic. It's not to do with breakouts of triangle patterns, breakouts of head and shoulders patterns. A lot of this market, and this is what retail traders really do not understand and don't have a grasp of, that the markets are literally just common sense. Okay, if people are over leveraged, if people are overexposed to the market, okay, and price starts to go against them, okay, and you can visibly see, right, where these over leveraged people are, overexposed people are. Okay, if you can see where they are, and you can see that price is going slightly against them, okay, then you can anticipate them getting completely wrecked. Okay, completely wrecked. And once you see that sign, okay, just before it happens, okay, that slight sign that these traders are about to get wrecked, that is the perfect opportunity to be getting into a trade, right? Perfect opportunity. Perfect example is with the short trade, right? We understood that there was, right, what was it, 100, like over 160, 170 million long trades were opened up here. What did we start to notice? Okay, we started to notice price pulling back. We then got the trade entry trigger, and for me, that was it. Okay, short trade, right? Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, I'm taking that short because I understand how many people are over leveraged in the market, okay, in their position, and over exposed in their position. Okay, and I understand how retail traders work as well. And I understood, okay, this was prime for a long squeeze. All right. So going back to where we are at this moment in time, I understand, okay, we're going to see a lot of this on this move up here as well. Okay. And what are the sheep thinking? Okay. This goes like a going over to the stock market, because this applies to the stock market as well, right? This applies to the stock market. Okay. And then bringing it back to Bitcoin, right? What are all the sheep thinking? Right? What are all the sheep thinking? All of the sheep, okay, are thinking, right, this is a bull flag. Okay, I don't want to get I like to stay very neutral in these markets, but I also like to have a good understanding of what everybody is doing, what everybody's thinking. Okay, and yes, right, I understand the majority of the market is looking at this as a bull flag, right? I understand that. Okay, and you're probably looking at it yourself as a bull flag. Okay, and I understand, yes, right. By the book, right, we're looking for a breakout, and we're looking for, you take the flagpole and you're looking for, well, it's going to be like 100K, whatever. I'm not even going to look at the price target, okay, because I don't care. But I understand that a huge portion of the market is looking at this, and this is why, right? I understand, yes, we're in the bull market as well, and this is why we've seen just an incredible amount of these longs open up on these moves up. Okay, an incredible amount of longs open up, and then you've seen on the pullback, like for example, this big pullback here. I walked through this I walked through this in the live streams when we were pulling back, right? How many longs got wrecked on Bybit alone? Okay, we saw over 500 million long trades get wrecked on Bybit alone. Okay, and then imagine including all of the other exchanges as well. Okay, it's a huge portion of the market that has been wrecked on this move down, and you can just visibly see, right? Looking at exo charts, looking at just the order flow in general. It doesn't have to be exo charts. Looking at the order flow in general, you can just see how everybody is just longing every move up. Okay, FOMO longing every move up. Why? because they're thinking, oh, we're in a bull market, we're going back to all-time high. Oh, we're in a bull flag here. Okay, oh, we're going up. I don't want to miss. I don't want to miss this move up. FOMO. Okay, and you can see how a huge portion of the market is so very, very, very bullish, but then they get completely wrecked on the move down. And for me, looking at this, right, taking a step back and looking at this, it just makes me. I find it hard to think that we are going to go higher in this bull market. I do find it hard, and I understand a lot of people are going to hate me for saying that. And again, right, I don't let any of this affect my trades. Okay, of course, I feel like I can have an opinion on the market, but again, I never let it affect my trades because I don't really care where price goes. But it's always nice to have a good understanding on my hodl portfolio as well. So maybe I can position myself in my investments, okay, in such a way that, okay, if we do have this big crash, I am prepared for this. I'm not going to take as much of a hit as I would have if I hadn't prepared for it. Okay, so it's always nice to think. So for me, it's like, okay, everybody's just getting so bullish. Incredible amounts of longs are opening up on these moves up, and they're just getting completely wiped out. And for me, it's like, right, are we actually going to see this bull flag play out? Are we actually going to go back up to all-time high this time around? Okay, at this moment in time, and I'm going to get a lot of hate for it, but I find it hard to believe. I do find it hard to believe, just because everybody is thinking the same thing. Everybody is thinking the same thing. So it is just something to be a little bit aware of. And it's kind of the same with the stock market as well, right? We haven't had a major correction recently, and I feel like we've got a whole just a whole bunch of people over leveraged, over positioned in these long trades that if we do start to see a big pullback, it's going to be pretty messy. Okay, it is going to be pretty messy. Like all of these pullbacks have been messy, right? All of these pullbacks have been very, very messy. Why? Because everybody's been over leveraged. Everybody has been overexposed in their trades. Okay, and of course we've been taking advantage of that. Okay, because we've been looking for the short trades at these highs, right? We've been looking at all of these short trades at the highs. I loved this example back here. Where we had over 75 million long trades open up at the high. Right, we entered into that short and we saw that pull back. Even I was saying we can look to all-time high. Even I was saying that, but then I noticed everybody else looking for that, and that's when I changed my mindset and I thought, no, we're not going to see that anymore. Let's look for the short trade. Okay, so it's just very, very important to understand if everybody is doing the same thing, if everybody is thinking the same thing. I just find it hard to believe that it's going to play out. Okay, because again, the market just doesn't do what everybody thinks it's going to do, and that's why I'm a big believer of not being a sheep in these markets. Right, I say that a lot. Do not be a sheep in these markets. Do not follow what everybody else is doing. I've said it before, where I don't even think you should. I don't even think you should be like looking at people online and taking their point of view on it. And I know it's quite controversial because I'm sharing what I believe is going on in the markets. Okay, I know it's quite controversial, but again, it's like I'm just trying to share my knowledge and share what works for me. And it's like, okay, you then need to take that away and do your own analysis on the markets and figure out what you think is going to happen in the markets. I'm a big believer on you figuring out what you think is going to happen in the markets. Okay, because if you're looking at someone and or looking at people, okay, and everybody's thinking the same thing, of course you are going to think the same thing. You are going to think the same thing, right? Because that all of these big, let's call them influencers, saying the exact same thing. Oh, we're going to 100K, okay, and because they're at that level and they've been very successful in the past, yeah, okay, you're going to believe them, right? But that's when you have to think to yourself, okay, I'm being a sheep now. I'm thinking that this is going to happen, and everybody else, because everybody else is thinking it's going to happen. When everybody else is thinking it's going to happen, maybe look in the opposite direction. Okay, just a suggestion, right? And that's exactly what I do every single trade I take. I look for the opposite thing that everybody else is doing. Perfect example: 160 odd million longs opened up here. All right, I did not FOMO into a long trade. Right, even though new longs opening up is quite bullish, right? I entered into that short trade. Okay, of course, for price to rise, you want to see new long trades coming in, so it's bullish, right? But of course, if we see new long trades coming in, price isn't going any higher, price starts to pull back. Something's not right here. Okay, something's not right here. So yeah, very important thing to think about. Sorry, let me pull up the chat. I haven't had the chat pulled up, and I can see a few. Oh, here we go. Damien, good to see you back, my friends. Good to see you back. Sorry, I hadn't had the chat pulled up. Everybody is so excited on interest rate cuts. They don't know what is coming. Dump it, then pump it. Yeah, I guess that's kind of the trend at the moment, isn't it? Dump it, then pump it. It's literally the trend, right? So yeah, I can be looking for that trend to continue. So it's like, okay, let's see if we can dump down to 47, get the long trade, pump it back up, and then see what happens from there. Of course, yeah. Are we going to break the bearish structure to go higher? Or are we going to continue the trend we are in and just continue this big bearish structure that we are in? So yeah, that's a big possibility, right? FOMC meeting September 17th, 18th. Yeah, that's of course, yeah, we're going to see a lot of volatility coming in there. For me, I used to take notice to the FOMC meetings and all of these non-farm payrolls, all of this nonsense. I did used to take knowledge of all of this stuff, acknowledge all of this stuff, but that was when I was consistently losing money in these markets, and kind of as soon as I and of course this is like personal preference, right? This is what I found worked for me. Ignoring that stuff for me worked tremendously, and focusing on the technical analysis. But of course, it is very important. Stock market is overvalued, the company's earnings, and there's no value at these levels apart from lower prices. Yeah, I do think everything is very overextended at the moment. Doesn't mean I'm going to open a load of short trades. No, of course not. Right? I'm in a short trade, so I'm happy with that, right? But it doesn't mean I'm going to go and open up a load of short trades. But yeah, I think I agree there. To be honest, I think everything is just a little bit overvalued for what people want it, or let's say like the big players want it to be. Okay, because of course, we're seeing a lot of absorption up here, right? You not talking of like bearish CVD, right? CVD divergences, CVD absorption. I'm not talking about that, right? I'm talking about all of these long trades that are opening up, okay, at these highs, right? They have to go somewhere, right? They have to go somewhere, and they are getting absorbed, right? All of the longs are getting absorbed by big players shorting. That's kind of what that's what swing failure patterns, failed auctions are based off of, right? We see for example, huge amount of longs coming into a level, right? And price forms a swing failure pattern or a failed auction. What has caused that? Okay, well, what has caused that is a big player with a big sell limit order up there. They've absorbed all of the longs. Okay, perfect example is this most recent one. Again, 160 odd million longs opened up here. What did price do? It just flatlined. Okay, why? Because all of these longs were being absorbed by a big sell limit order up there. Okay, and that of course has dumped price down. So yeah, there is, in my opinion, is a lot of big players out there who want to see prices come lower to then of course gobble it all up and ride the pump, right? That's kind of what I think is likely. The AI BS is going to burst the bubble. Yeah, so it's kind of like the .com bubble, right? At some point, it's probably going to burst, right? But I could not tell you. That's not like analysis that I really look at, and I'm not experienced in. So I don't. I feel like there is going to be a big AI bubble, or there is a big AI bubble, and we are gonna see the bubble burst. Okay, it's not something that like I said, I'm experienced in. So yeah, I wouldn't be trading that. But I stick to what I know. I know Bitcoin. I know trading Bitcoin, so I stick to that. But yeah, if there is going to be that big AI bubble burst, we're going to see the stock market have a heavy hit, which of course is going to lead into Bitcoin as it always does. Probably some news will come out on regulations on AI, and everybody is going to be scared. Lower is cooking. Yeah, I can clearly see that you are looking for lower prices, Damien. I could see a rotation of installation on investors, rotating money as they dump on the stock market into Bitcoin or gold, trap them at the high, and retail follow on the exit liquidity. Yeah. Yeah, I do agree. I do agree on that. I mean, if we do start to see a big pullback, if we do start to see a big pull, we're going to most likely see retail traders FOMO into that again. Yeah, right. We're probably going to see a lot of retail traders actually make some money on that. But as soon as we start to see the majority of the retail traders shorting, that's when I'm thinking, oh, okay, maybe this pullback is finished, right? Or if we just see a huge chunk of the market getting wrecked, because we're probably gonna, if say we saw another move down to like $47,000, again we're going to see a huge chunk of the market getting wrecked, and then the argument is going to be, right, are we going to pull back and continue to see all of these longs just get wrecked, and could it just be one horrible event? Yeah, that's a possibility, because I understand we've got like an absurd amount of long trades that have opened up all up here. Knowing retail traders, we know that they haven't taken much profit, right? They're waiting for their oversized trade to make them a millionaire. Are you still open to the view of heading down to 43,500? Yeah, I'm still open to it. I still don't. Yeah, that's like, I think, yeah, it's a possibility. As long as we remain in this bearish structure, yes, of course, $43,000 is still on the cards. And then, of course, yeah, if we lose $43,000, that's when I would say we're probably in a bear market, because it's going back to basic analysis that I look at on a day-to-day basis. Range trading, right? What have we done at the range high? We failed auction, well, swing failure patterned that range high, or the all-time high, previous all-time high, sorry, from November 2021. And yeah, we've seen price pull back. Okay, of course, it's $42,300. That is the mid-range. Of course, we know what happens at the mid-range of parallel channels, right? It is support. Okay. And you know what happens if we lose that support. Okay. We're looking towards the range low. So that's kind of the line in the sand for me, $42,300. If we lose that, I think we could go lower. Yes. Do I think we're going to come down to $15,000? Right. This is not my area of expertise. I don't think it's anybody's area of expertise. I don't think you can ever predict where the low of the bear market is going to be. You know, looking at it now, I don't think you can. If we're going to go into a bear market, you just can't predict it, right? You just don't know. Yes, okay, I understand that, because I did have a long trade from all the way back down here at like $19,000. I did have a long trade from all the way back here, and yes, okay, you can look at that and say, I predicted where the low of the bear market was, when reality is I didn't predict where the low of the bear market was, right? I just found a trade entry trigger and I took the trade. I didn't know that was going to be the low. I just entered into a long trade and it happened to be the low of the bear market, right? We could have come down to another low, we could have got another trade entry trigger for a long. Again, I could have long that. That could have been the low of the bear market, right? So yeah, again, I never think I don't ever think you can predict it. If you do predict it, I think it is just guessing. For me, I understand. Yes, okay, I can enter into a trade at the high of the bull market or the low of the bear market. Okay, but I didn't know that that was going to be the low. So I'm happy to admit that I didn't know that that was going to be the low. It just happened to be the low. It's exactly like the short trade that I had from the all-time high. I can openly say and confidently say, it's all on the Discord as well, I shorted the all-time high because I did. Did I know that was going to be the all-time high? No. Okay. I just found a trade. I entered into the trade and the rest was history. Okay, I don't have that trade open anymore. I have fully closed that now. But yeah, I did have a short from the all-time high. Bitcoin looks exactly like gold in that decade. Long consolidation on gold, but Bitcoin moves 10x times faster, if not quicker. Yeah, yeah. Bitcoin moves incredibly quickly, and that's I've never actually traded gold, to be honest with you, but that's why I kind of moved from the stock market onto Bitcoin because the movement on it, the returns on it were just nice. They were enjoyable. 43,500 happens to be the 0.5 retracement of the entire bull run. Swing that started at 18k. If you look at the daily chart, let's have a look. So yeah, I think I've probably pulled this before actually. Let's see if we can catch the low. There we go. Let's go standard. So yeah, for me on Bybit, the .5 is at $44,700. Yeah, it's definitely a possibility that we could bounce off of that level. And I mean, I wouldn't solely be looking at the .5. I'd have to look for confluence on it, and to be honest with you, the .5 is not something I trade anyway. Yeah, it's a possibility. Of course, you have to look for your confluence. If it's just the .5 you're acknowledging and you're expecting price to bounce off of that .5 just because there's a .5 there, then yeah, you need to look for confluence. But yeah, it's a possibility we could bounce from there. I don't disagree. What if we go into log scale actually? Does that? Okay, no. So yeah, that's a possibility, right? That we do bounce off of that level. And I mean, yeah, okay. We're looking at the .5. It's pretty close to the mid range, right? We could find a support zone there. Right, we could be looking at a support zone around there. If that is going to be the low of this pullback, right? It could be there. I'm not going to be predicting that. It's not something I look at, right? I'm not gonna, for me, I'm not gonna look at this as strong support and say I'm gonna set loads of buy limit orders. That's not how I trade. It's not my style. If that's your style and it works for you, fair enough. Trade that because it works for you. For me, I know what works for me. I think I've proven myself to you guys as well. I've shown you what works for me time and time again. So that's what I continue to trade. So it's a possibility that .5. I don't trade the .5, but it's a possibility we could bounce off of that. There is a little bit, of course, confluence with the mid range, which is nice. Gold from 2008 to 2022 and overlay the chart. It looks identical. Let's have a little look then. So I guess we're gonna want to go on the monthly. Actually, yeah, it's gonna have to be. It's going to have to be on Bitstamp Probably. Wish list. Right, let's just hide this analysis. My mouse is messing up again. It hasn't messed up in quite a while. Monthly, right? Monthly. Why is it still on the daily there? Monthly, perfect. Did you give a no? Let's daily maybe. No, let's go weekly. Weekly. So you said from 2008. And then I'm guessing gold from. No, but looks like but Bitcoin range if you measure from 2021 to current date, and gold needs to be suppressed from 2008 to 2022. Okay, so Bitcoin, but Bitcoin range if you measure from 2021 to current date, and gold needs to be. Okay, could you put that in the Discord, Damien? If you can put that in the Discord, that'd be great, and I can have a look at it there. So you're saying from 2021 and then. So I guess from what I'm guessing, this is kind of how you're interpreting it. With, of course, the rise up, kind of this like double top type thing, with this kind of like rounded bottom back up to an all-time high. For this kind of bearish structure to then go back up, I guess this is kind of what you're looking at, possibly. Which, yeah, I can't deny it does look very, very similar. And I guess it, that favors the retail traders, right? I guess that favors the retail traders with like, what do they call this? A cup and handle. The cup and handle breaks out, or this here, just like a bull flag. So yeah, that favors the retail trader. I can agree with that. It does look very similar, to be honest with you. So yeah, I mean, we can break out of this bull flag. I do understand that. I do fully understand that. Yeah, perfect. It was just setting up. Yeah, exactly. Okay, perfect. At least I got that right. So yeah, I mean, yeah, in this instance here, on gold, right? You've got a bull flag here that has broken out, right? And you have seen a big rise. You have, and I mean, we can see a breakout of this bull flag, and we can see price go back above all-time high. It is something that we could see. And I do agree that these look very, very similar. So it is a possibility. And it's like, okay, if we do get this breakout of the bull flag and I do get a short setup, I would take the short setup and I would expect a pullback. Okay, I would expect a pullback. Where could we could pull back a little bit, right? Maybe we don't perfectly respect the bull flag, right? Maybe we get accepted back into it and then we break out of it once again, and then we're off to the races. That's what we can look for. But I guess this is something to be aware of as well. So yeah, thank you, Damien, for bringing that up. But yeah, I mean, like I said, right, the bull flag can play out. It can. Will it play out to the extent that that everybody's thinking it will play out to, like above 100k? I don't necessarily think that. Not this time around. Yeah, just market psychology, right? What happened on the last bull market, right? The all-time high was below 70k. We didn't make it to that 70k psychological level. Okay, we didn't make it to the psychological level of 70k. We front run that. Why? Because everybody was expecting 70k. So it's kind of the same thing, right? Yes, okay, at some point we're probably going to go to 100k. But before we go to 100k, I think we're going to front run 100k for a big pullback. Why? Because everybody's going to be expecting all-time high. Everybody's going to be expecting 100k. If everybody's expecting 100k, we're probably not going to see 100k. But of course, we could see it. We could see it. So I guess it's just sticking to our plan, right? Continuing to trade, and if this bull flag does break towards the upside, of course we can take advantage of it, right? We have to look, of course, for those long trades. If the bull flag plays out, of course we're gonna hopefully be in a long trade, of course, not from the breakout of the bull flag. Of course, we'll be looking for a long trade at much lower prices. But this moment in time, I mean, if you took a long trade off of that swing value pattern, you are in some nice profits. It's nice. I didn't take that long trade. Not really too interested in it whatsoever. Again, I'm happy with how I'm positioned. I'm happy with how long I am. I'm happy with how short I am. I'm just happy with how I'm positioned. So now it's just patience. It is just patience. Wait for things to play out. Let's have a little look at ETH. I need to get back to trading Ethereum, to be perfectly honest with you, because I had taken some really nice trades on Ethereum quite a few months ago now, and I just haven't traded it since. I think I've just enjoyed trading Bitcoin so much. I do tend to just stick to Bitcoin, to be honest with you. Yes, I do take the odd trade here on an altcoin or altcoins, but I do tend to just stick to Bitcoin because it's kind of what I know. I've spent 4 years of my life just looking at the Bitcoin charts. I feel like I'm very in tune with it. I feel like I just understand it now. But with altcoins, I haven't done that. I haven't stared at altcoin charts for 4 years because altcoins just come and go. Bitcoin's just always been here. Unlike Ethereum, of course, Ethereum's been here for a very long time now as well. But I think that's everything that I've wanted to talk about. To be honest with you, that's everything that I wanted to talk about. So I will probably leave that there. Almost been live for 50 minutes now. So I will leave that there. So I hope this live stream did give you guys some value, kind of what I'm looking for, why I'm not looking at being a sheep in the market, right? Why I trade this way. So I hope that did give you some value. Of course, it's always good to see familiar faces here. So Damien, always good to see you here as well. Anchor, always good to see you as well. I still think I'm pronouncing that wrong. I don't know though. But always good to see you here as well, my friends. So I think I will leave that there. I'm gonna go and get myself some dinner. So I hope you guys have a lovely rest of your day. I will see you tomorrow for the next live stream. Any Visionary members, of course, I will see you in the Discord and the daily market update, of course. But I will leave that there. I will be live tomorrow. I will make sure that I come live tomorrow and for the rest of the week and for the whole of next week. I understand. I just had a little break Monday and Tuesday. So have a lovely rest of your day. Take care, and I will see you later. Goodbye.
Take me home, cause I wanna feel like I belong. They relate to all this pain in my past, so they listen to my song. So let's go back to where it began and where it all started from. Take this chance, one last dance, cause I've been waiting way too long. Take my hand, I wanna show you something, promise